Yes, sir. You already know what time it is. You already know what's going on. Your favorite cousins are back. Your favorite duo is now back in session. I'm your host, Cam Silver,
I'm your co-host Kyle Silver.
and welcome back to the Silver Boys podcast. Now, Kyle, last time we left off, Dan Hurley was a favorite to be the Lakers head coach.
hmm
Justin Jefferson just got himself a brand new contract, which will reset the wide receiver market.
hmm
And the Mavs and the Celtics were on their way to a collision course to meet each other in the NBA Finals.
Yes, sir.
Now things have obviously changed. We obviously thought that the NBA Finals would be more fun. Obviously, that proved not to be. Well, at least if you're not a fan of if you're not a fan of the Celtics, then yeah, that's not as much fun as you would want it to be. But
hmm
that's all right. Um, see what else we got. Trevor Lawrence, he himself just got himself a brand new contract, which will now, I guess, reset the quarterback market. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
And who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Oh, and Dan Hurley will not be the coach of the Lakers. He will, matter of fact, go back to UConn, which
hmm
I'm not mad about that, honestly. Like, you know, can't really turn that
You got
down.
some
But
reasons not to be not mad about that, but we'll get
oh
into
yeah, yeah,
it.
but we'll get into that. But
Yeah.
right now we will start off with Trevor Lawrence. So Trevor Lawrence gets an extension for 5 years, 275 mil, and includes 200 million guaranteed. He also gets a signing bonus of 37.5 million. For the signing bonus, excuse me. Mixed up my words a little bit. And the deal starts in 2026, and he'll average around 55 million a year on the salary, which ties Joe Burrow.
hmm hmm So breaking down, the contract like a little bit in and of itself, and I'm not gonna, well deserving. He's put up, some good numbers, in his tenure as the Jacksonville quarterback. He's, he's brought them to the playoffs a little bit, a couple of times. Like, so it's not like he's like, he has nothing to show for, why he's accepting of this contract.
Mhm.
Like he has the numbers to back himself up. Um, 65% completion percentage. He got, over the regular season, in his career, 63%, close to 64%. He got 11,000 yards. Like, so his numbers will back it up. It's just going to be really important to see like, what they do to get Trevor Lawrence some help. I think like, to really like get, them over the hump of where like, they thought that they would be when they drafted Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
Um, I'm just real interested to see how this is going to play out with like, other quarterbacks in the market like Dak Prescott. Like, because if you got Trevor Lawrence signing this amount of money, Dak is going to want his money too. To upwards of, Trevor Lawrence is getting what you said, 200 million guaranteed, you know,
Yeah, 200
and
million guaranteed and average of 55 mil on the salary.
So like, and he hasn't really, I don't think he has, comparable numbers to a Dak Prescott, but we're so quick to like, you know, uh, degrade Dak Prescott, I think is the right word. Like, not us, I would say, but just the media in general.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how Dak handles that after seeing this, because if this does reset the quarterback market, like I said, Dak is gonna want his money. You know, he's had like a bunch of 12 win seasons. He has brought them to the playoffs. They haven't done anything in the playoffs, but he has brought them there, and that's in comparison to Trevor Lawrence, who can't really say like, that much of the same thing like a Dak Prescott can. Like Dak Prescott was damn near about to be MVP. So
Hmm.
it's like, but like I said, like, let's focus on, I should focus on Trevor Lawrence, I should say. And like, he deserves this money. I just want to know where Jacksonville is going to go with it. What are they going to, how is he going to put this into play? What are they going to do? And will he be able to show that he deserves this amount of money is all I'm trying to say, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree with you. Um, I was not expecting it to be this much. I obviously knew that he would get an extension, but I did not expect it to be this much to the point where he would reset the market.
Mhm.
I guess they are banking on, they're banking on in the next couple of years that he will be a great quarterback and he will get them to the playoffs multiple times and he will get into some good runs. And I think that's
Mhm.
what you're banking on when you are giving someone this type of money. In comparison, like you said, to Dak Prescott, who will want his money, he has brought his team to the playoffs, even though I'll reiterate what you just said. He hasn't really done much, but he has year after year brought his team to the playoffs, and you know what I mean. And that's at least something. And it's going to be different with the Jaguars because we always look at them as a middle of the pack team. We know what Trevor Lawrence is. Like we've watched them enough in Clemson. We watched them, get him out here in the NFL after his
Mhm.
turbulent start with Urban Meyer as his coach, and getting in what's his name, Doug. I forgot his name. I think it's Doug.
Doug
Um,
Peterson.
Doug Peterson. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, and getting Doug Peterson, who has done, you know, way better by him, and he's making, he's getting Trevor Lawrence into the situations that he know that he could thrive in. It's just a matter
Mhm.
of Trevor Lawrence being able to take everything into his own hands and doing that.
Mhm.
So it's yeah, we're just at this point we're just it's a waiting game to see if he really deserves this money.
I was gonna say, I just wanted to say too, like, I'm looking at Kirk Cousins and his contract, 4 year, 180 million, and then I'm just comparing, like, what we've seen from Trevor Lawrence just off the top of my head, and like what I would equate what he's played to the amount of dollars that he should get. So I am like a little shocked that he got 275. I would have like expected maybe like the 230. Maybe he gets like 150, 170 of that guaranteed,
Yeah,
but I'm just trying to like compare that. Like, so they're really seeing him, as that franchise quarterback, which is what they saw when they drafted him. And like, this is after, the rookie contract and whatnot, you know, it's well deserving. Like, he brought like he's doing what I think Jacksonville is expecting him to do over the progression of his career. So they're
correct.
banking, the quarterback position, we know that they get paid for what will you do, not what have you done. So I think that's the biggest thing. I ain't mad at it. The boy deserves his bread. He's done a lot of good things for that organization. He's brought them to the forefront of where, like, I guess where they think that they should be, where they could be, I should say.
Mhm.
Um, so, I don't really got nothing too much more else on it. We just gotta wait and see how it's gonna be with him, you know. Hopefully he gets that bread and he could actually do something with it, like, and not just he get the bread and he disappears, like we've seen, a lot of other players do over the course of, multiple different leagues.
Right, right. Yeah, he got Travis Etienne as his running back. He has a Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis now as his wide receivers, along with Brian Thomas Jr. and Evan Ingram as his tight end. So he has the weapons to make some noise, and it's just a matter of can they put it all together, and then the
Mhm.
defense is slowly but surely coming together with Eric Armstead and Josh Allen and Devin Lloyd out there, so and Ronald Darby and Trayvon Walker, who was also one of their first round picks, if I'm not mistaken, too, at a certain point. Yeah, back in 2022. So it's all like we said, it's all about everything just coming together
Yeah, pretty
for
much.
this team
Pretty much.
because they're in a division where it's gettable. They the only team I think they're gonna have a problem with are the Colts.
Hmm.
And then, obviously it depends on what Tennessee does and how their quarterback situation looks with Will Levis and Malik over there. And then Houston, excuse me. Never mind. They have Houston in their division. That's never mind. Never mind.
Whatever.
Never mind.
Whatever.
Never mind.
As soon as you said that, yeah,
Never
whatever.
mind. Never mind.
Whatever.
Scratch the whole
They don't even. So you
Crumble.
saying Trevor Lawrence just he got 275, right? And he ain't even the best quarterback in the division, let alone the conference, but in the division.
Hmm.
CJ Stroud coming down the pike, brother. And if Trevor Lawrence got 275 out his rookie deal, and he didn't even do what CJ Stroud is did, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. You
Yeah,
know?
no, the way he played his rookie year, the way he dismantled the Browns, who had a great defense, And then the way that it didn't look like a pretty game against Baltimore, but they held their own,
Yes. And
you
but the
know,
first year quarterback going up against a Baltimore team who we all expected would get over the hump.
correct.
He still was able to do what he was able to do. And it wasn't like it was a sad performance either. So, so I bring all of that up to say, like, yo, CJ Stroud about to get 300 mil at least in a
And then
couple.
let's not forget Anthony Richardson if he comes
Oh,
out to play this year too,
and he
you
doesn't get
know.
hurt, and he was playing very well.
Oh yeah. If he doesn't get hurt and he's able to stay healthy and he's able to take, don't take the unnecessary hits and things of that nature, oh yeah,
Mhm.
then that's another quarterback that you got to deal with in that division. And that's, you have those two quarterbacks fighting for that top spot. And then right now, unless Jacksonville really does something here,
Mhm.
then like we said, they're just gonna be a middle of the pack team.
Exactly. Exactly. So we just gotta wait and see what it's gonna do, what they're gonna do with that money, and
Right.
what Trevor Lawrence is gonna be able to do.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
But moving on to the NBA. So last week we said, the Lakers were looking at Dan Hurley as their new coach. They wanted him to be the coach, not just of now, but obviously of the future. They love, everything about him, everything what he stands for, how he's able to build that UConn program up, and if we're being honest, how he was able to build up other programs that he was in. He was a coach at St. Benedict's. He coached at Rhode Island. So everywhere he's gone, he's won, and I think
Hmm.
that's what the Lakers love the most. But he flew out there last weekend, took a trip with and sat with them, talked to them and things of that nature. But ultimately Monday announced that he decided to stay at UConn, and can't really be mad at that. They just didn't. The Lakers didn't put out the right numbers on a contract front, which is obviously understandable. They only put out like what 60, 70 mil.
It was 6 years, $70 million, which would have netted him as the sixth highest, paid, coach, in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Which, oh no.
It, yeah, I don't know. It's give or take on that one because it's like, you're coming into a situation where the team is, let's be honest, the team at its height is really just a playing team, maybe a six, or maybe a fifth or sixth seed.
Hmm.
And then, we obviously don't know how much longer that LeBron is going to go.
Exactly.
What is AD going to look like in the future, and what the rest of the team is going to look like in the future, whether they keep guys or they trade them for like draft picks and things of that nature. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was a lot of questions in the air, just other than obviously than the contract that we looked at. So I'm happy for Coach Hurley. That he at least got a look of what could possibly be maybe in the future. We never know. He could possibly, be on his way back, not to LA, but like maybe somewhere else. But I'm happy that he's staying. I'm happy that, he has another top five team coming in. So, why not go for maybe a three-peat?
Hmm. Given, like you said, the Lakers roster, and their ability to be able to construct a roster, they would have to be able to give Dan Hurley like ultimate and complete control, which we don't know, like, the actual ins and outs of the details, if they would have allowed him to, bring in his own coaches, actually treat it like an actual organization, because in college you are the GM, you are the owner, essentially. You are the one
Mm-hmm.
that has to build these dollars. It's not like how, if you do go to the Lakers organization, Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka are waiting for you at the top, just and they could just give you the money to go do what you need to do. Um, so I'm not mad at Dan Hurley whatsoever. I'm more upset at the Lakers for, what they were offering him. Um, if you were off if you were saying in the weeks leading up that you had this incredible offer for him, right? And then you come down the pike and he is the sixth highest paid coach, that if he did accept that, I'm in Dan Hurley's not that type of guy. The man is an East Coast dude all throughout his career. To go and upend everything up in his family, up in, what he just knows, like deep down in his blood, which is an East Coast guy. And then to go fly across the country, 3 hour time difference, dealing with the Lakers organization, not really knowing, like, if that's going to be your organization. I'm not mad at him for turning it down. Um, and like, and again, also too, the chance to, you go back to back to back and win three in a row. You can't, those are real deciding factors. And also too, like, Dan Hurley is not that type of guy to where he would leave, like he would just leave his boys like that. Like, he just
Mm-hmm.
had a meeting with the guys, like, before he actually flew out there. He had a meeting when he came back after he said, like, he's not gonna accept the Lakers job. He came back, and he came back to his boys over at UConn, and he said to him, like, all right, let's go. Like, the time starts now, the work starts now. I ain't leaving y'all. Which, if I was a player for Dan Hurley and you turn down the Lakers to come back to come coach me, that fuels fire so much more. And I think that really paves the way for him to actually go through and get that third one. And I don't even think people are looking at it like that. Like it probably fired up UConn so much more. And for the Lakers, you just missed out.
Yeah,
And it's not nothing wrong with that, but you missed out on a great opportunity. But also, like I said before, you can't be mad at the fact that you tried to bring an East Coast coach over to the West Coast when that might not have been, what he even wanted. Maybe if the Knicks come through and they offer him that, Boston comes through if they didn't have, Joe Mazzulla or whatnot, like, if they were in this position that the Lakers were in, maybe I could see him accepting that money. Like, but to go across, the entire nation to accept that type of money, it wasn't worth it because he gonna get his bread over at UConn too. So it wasn't worth it. I ain't mad at him. Um, it is what it is. The Lakers, they gonna move on. Dan Hurley, they gonna move on. The NBA as a whole will move on. So it is what it is, right?
yeah. It's just one of those things where, it's hit or miss.
Hmm.
You took a shot, and it was in retrospect, it was a long shot.
It
But
really, it really was.
yeah, yeah.
And
And I,
I,
I I'm not I'm not mad at them for taking that shot either. Like you should take that shot. You know what I
shoot
mean?
or
Like
shoot, right?
yeah, like your franchise has been sputtering for the last few years now, since 2020 basically, and you're trying to get back on track. And you try to bring in someone with a great track record, and
Hmm.
it just didn't work out. And that's
Hmm.
gonna happen. That's fine.
Hmm.
Can't lose sleep over that.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. And even I just want to say real quick too, I was I on Monday I was mad about the fact that of the numbers, like in the specifics of the contract, making him the sixth highest, like, paid coach. However, like when I go through it, I'm like, okay, you got Ty Lue, you got um you got Mike Budenholzer. You got Mike Malone. You got, these other guys that are coming out, Joe Mazzulla too. Like, so I just listed off four guys that, like, it like they have the right to stake their claim in Dan Hurley being the sixth highest paid coach. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
So like, it's like he would have to work for it, and then maybe on the back end, if he can create an organization, and then after the 6 years, and he becomes a lifetime like type of coach almost, because he was able to build a program in the Lakers organization, yada yada yada. It is what it is though. But like, ah, I'm not as mad about it as I was on Monday. I think I've cooled down on the Lakers part, I think, and I'm not as mad at the Lakers though, also.
Yeah. I'm on the same page with you. I'm not as mad at them either. Um, like I said, it is what it is. It's
Maybe for handling it, the optics wise, I'm maybe like frustrated with them because you shouldn't have brought it to the forefront as much as you did if you were gonna offer him that type of money.
right. They paraded it like it was going to be something like like astonishing.
You paraded it like he was about to get Ty Lue type of money, like he was
Hmm.
about to get Eric Spoelstra type of money, where he was about to be your coach for until he essentially is gone, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. But
what
right now, it looks like the Lakers are actually their forefront guy right now is JJ Redick. So,
JJ Redick, I think Sam Cassell should be in there.
oh,
Like
Sam Cassell
like
should definitely
very
be in
early.
there. I'm a
Stephen
huge,
Stephen A brought up his name and I was like, you know what? That was a
I'm a,
guy I think a lot of us were forgetting about.
I am a huge fan of Sam Cassell.
Yeah, me too.
A
Me too.
huge fan of Sam Cassell. I think he'll be great. I think it's his time. I feel like he just keeps getting passed over, passed over, passed over. And maybe he just hasn't really thrown his hat into the ring,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's another thing. But like I feel like, he'll be an amazing coach in my opinion. It's just,
Yes.
and my biggest scare is I just don't want another first year head coach, even though I love JJ. JJ knows the game, better than most people who have ever like, walked this earth.
Mm-hmm.
But my biggest thing is, like I said, like weeks ago or even months ago at this point, I said, JJ, I would like for him to start out somewhere, where he has to build a team
Mm-hmm.
first,
Mm-hmm.
show earn your stripes, and then after that we move you in.
That part also, I think it's important just from the Lakers, as an organization. You cannot bring in another coach that is only going to last you for 2 years, 3 years. You have
Right.
to bring in a guy like a Eric Spoelstra, like a Mike Malone, like a Ty Lue, who's going to build an organization from the ground up, and you're going to give them the runway and the leeway to be able to do that. So if JJ Redick does come out, as the top candidate and he does, get this job, regardless of the money, you have like if you could give Dan Hurley 6 years, you gotta give JJ Redick 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to. You have to. Because you cannot expect him in the first 3 years, especially with LeBron aging out. You cannot like expect him in 3 years even to get you where you need to go. You gotta give him that runway to do it.
Right. Right.
So, I think it's we'll see in the next coming weeks and the next coming days, how the Lakers handle that, how JJ Redick even handles that. If JJ Redick is even that guy, even they might even go in a whole completely different direction and just go out of left field like they just did with Dan Hurley and they tried to get Dan, So I guess we just
Right.
see.
Yeah, yeah, no, we just gotta wait and see on them. But moving on to the Lakers because we really don't have much time left. But no, moving on to the Lakers, excuse me. Moving on to NBA Finals,
Mhm.
all over the damn place. But moving on to the finals, game one was an ugly one. KP comes back and literally just shoots the lights out, bro. Like he was just on fire. He couldn't miss. He had 20 points and 6 boards coming off the bench.
Mhm.
The Celtics take a one to the Celtics take a game one lead. Obviously, they beat them 107-89. Game two, it was a little closer, but the Mavs still show that they just didn't have enough. Kyrie just still couldn't get it going. They lost on
Game one
that
and
one.
game
One of
two couldn't get it going, but
yeah,
continue.
yeah, he could. He was what, like over eight, if I'm not mistaken, from three
He was over 8 in two
in
games.
2 games. Yes, yes, in 2 games, and then coming back in game three goes crazy. But then we get the meltdown from Luka, which was just, man, that was wow. That was horrible. Like I went back and I watched some of those clips and I was really disgusted with what I seen. And
Disgusted, and
it
the way he was picking up his fouls, that should have been foul number three, not foul number six.
right.
In game three when he tried to get
He
the
tried to
charge,
take the charge,
but it
yeah.
was a blocking foul, and he wasn't even in position to get the charge. I digress. Continue.
But they was picking on him the whole time.
They've
They
been
was
picking on him
picking
for
on
three
him.
games. They've been picking on him for 3 games, bruh.
They've been picking on him, bro. It's because he don't play defense like that. That's the thing, like I remember you raised, against the Clippers, he played defense. He was in his stance, hands out, palms out,
He
right?
was sitting in a chair against Kawhi, but you can't sit in a chair against JT and JB.
Bro, they're going around him like he's a traffic cone.
Drew Holiday is going around him, bro. Al Horford is about to
Al
go
Horford. Big Al.
Please don't get me started. If Al Horford is going around you, don't get me started, Cam. You know how deep this goes. I ain't
Oh,
gonna
trust me,
pretty,
I
but you
know.
know how deep
Trust
this
me, I
goes.
know. I know. I know. But dude, I don't understand why he plays defense the way he does. And us both being defensive players, I know it pisses you off just as much as it pisses me off. Why are you sitting there trying to slide with your hands down? What are you doing? Where are you going?
It pisses me off a lot. But even just like on the offensive end too, he's averaging 29.7 points on 24 shot attempts.
Hmm.
Kyrie also he's averaging 21 points on 21 shot attempts. They're not efficient whatsoever. We
No,
talked about PJ Washington he needs to hit his threes, coming in. He ain't giving you much, 28% from three. Even Kyrie's 28% from Kyrie and PJ Washington should not have the same 3-point percentage that they just shouldn't. They just shouldn't.
no,
They
no.
just shouldn't. And then I talked about too, Derrick Jones Jr. coming in. He need to hit his threes 16% from three. What can I do with that, bro? I can't do nothing with that, Cam.
He's
Jesus.
doing that. You got Daniel Gafford not showing up, but Derek Lively showing up. It's the biggest thing in these big time games too is the fact that your role players have to show up. It can't just be your superstars. It
And then
cannot
can
just
you
be your
talk about how
superstars.
you're playing Maxi Kleber, Jason Kidd, but you need 3-point shooting, but you're not playing Tim Hardaway. And then you're trying to play Tim Hardaway when it's too late and the boy cold.
Yeah, and he has no rhythm. He once he gets into the game, it's like, oh yeah, just shoot a three. He
He
can't
don't got
just shoot
nothing
a
going
three.
for him.
He has no legs. He doesn't know what this feels like anymore because he hasn't been in so long.
I think in game two or game three, I'm not sure which one, but in one of those games, Jason Kidd, he played 11 dudes in like that third quarter in one of these games. He
I
played
think
11 dudes because he was just trying to look for
he was trying
something.
to figure
He
something
was
out.
just
Yeah,
trying so hard. And
he
I'm
was
like,
just
if you waited until game two to do that, or you like that should have been the jump from game one. Okay, you see how Boston's coming out, you should have put Tim Hardaway in. You see how Kyrie Irving's playing, I would have put Tim Hardaway in at the beginning of the third. I'm like, brother, let's go right now. This is your time because you're struggling. You're struggling really, really, really bad. So
hmm.
it just I don't even know what to say. I don't
You
even
know,
know.
I want to say it was game two
I think
that
it
he
was
did that.
we played 11. Hold on. I am gonna say something though, Cam. You clown, I brought to your idea, right? When we was in the studio last week, I brought to the idea that what if Boston does sweep? And then we looked at each other and you looked at me and you were like, man, Boston ain't sweeping. Now look where we are. Now look where we are.
It's the NBA Finals. You couldn't I couldn't predict that. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking, you gonna put your heart out on the line. You know what I mean? Like this is your legacy that we talking about.
Oh,
You
that
know?
boy Luka putting his heart out, all right. He putting it out to the refs, bro. Not on the
Yeah,
court, to the
yeah.
refs.
No,
Not to
he's
the
doing
basket,
too
to
much.
the refs.
For, this is one thing he has to understand. This ain't the regular season, bro. This isn't the regular
Getting them
season.
same fouls. You not getting
This
them
is
fouls.
this is a he what he has to do is go back. We only got like a minute and a minute some change left, but what he has to do is he has to go back into that mindset of I'm back in the Euro League.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Go back into that old school mindset of this. If this is physical, they're not gonna call much. They ain't, the refs are gonna swallow their whistle as they should because guess
Mhm.
what? That's what we asked for in the playoffs. That's what we asked for. And I just gotta put my head down. I just gotta go crazy.
Yeah. We said it, and I know you said we got to get out of here. We said it last year, though. Kyrie and Luka might not have been enough. They were enough to get to this point.
Hmm.
Now we see that they need that third star. I'm gonna leave it
Yeah,
at that. I'm gonna just leave it there. You need that third star when Kyrie is not on, and if Luka is complaining like that, you need a third person to come off that bench, come off. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, and do something. Give you some
yeah.
type of spark. They need a spark. And unfortunately, these guys are not giving it to him. Kyrie not giving it to him, regardless of his game three performance the other night. He's not giving it to him. Luka, he's averaging. He's doing what he's about to do. He's doing what he can do, but it's not enough. It's just not enough.
No, it's not. And
Mhm.
it sucks when it's not, and you just playing your heart out. But that's the way the game goes sometimes, though.
Yes, sir.
But
Sir.
hey, great episode.
Yeah, most
Happy for
definitely.
happy that you guys are sticking around with us. Side note, make sure that you check out our YouTube channel, The Silver Boys. Make sure that you follow us on, Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, and all that good stuff. The Silver Boys. And yeah, no, we're just gonna keep, bringing you guys content. I think a couple weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, uh, people were pouring into the last video that we did. We got like over 140 views. So,
And then
keep
even
up.
2 weeks ago too, bro, we got
Yeah,
over
yeah.
it's
2 weeks ago it
there.
was 100. Yeah, excuse me. 2 weeks ago it was 140.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was the one that I was trying to point out, and I was trying to look back at it. But yeah, no, keep doing your thing, guys. Yo, we appreciate you guys every single week, man.
Every single week. Silver Boys coming at you. Same thing every day, same thing every week. You already know how it goes, bro.
You know it, you know it. But till then, I'm your host Cam Silver,
I'm your co-host Kyle Silver.
and we out of here.
Yes, sir.